What's up guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about armor mods. A few things. First of all, for the March Beat Modtail 2 Wastelands, I have moved the merged patch helper up into the optionals ESP for now. We'll come back to that later. And on the New Vegas Redesign 3 patch that we installed in that episode, I moved up the Willow alternative versions up into the optional ESPs. So just to get those out of the way, we'll go ahead and go over to the Nexus and start downloading our mods. The first two we're going to be downloading are Hall of Equipment for New Vegas and Hall of Equipment for Fallout 3. So for the Fallout 3 version, go over and download the all-in-one file. And then on the New Vegas version, go to the Files tab, download the first one with Manager. And we're going to grab all of the optional files: the Dead Money, Down with Manager, Honest Hearts, Lonesome Road, Old World Blues. We're not going to grab the weapons here, so ignore that one. While those are downloading, we can go ahead and go over to the next one, which is High-Res Armored Vault 101 Jumpsuit. Go to the Files tab. I'm going to download the 2K version manually. And then next we have Wasteland Clothing High-Res Retexture. Go to the Files tab, download the full pack manually, and then download the fix, the Wasteland Clothing HD Powder Gang fix, and ignore the update file. That's just if we don't need that since we're already getting the most up-to-date version here. The next one is Mono's updated Atom package. We can download this with Manager. Just go to the Files tab, download the all-in-one with Manager, and then download the Atom Merge update with Manager. The next we have Kaiser's New Regime, Legion Overhaul. Go to the Files tab, download the All You Need with Manager, and then download the Vanilla Male Body with Manager, and that's all we need from this page. Next we have NCR Civilian Clothing. Go to the Files tab. There's only one file. Download as Manager. Next we have NCR Trooper Overhaul Beta. Go to the Files tab. Download the main file with Manager, and download the update with Manager. And then under the optional files, download the Vanilla Body Patch. And then we have NCR Trooper Overhaul Distributed. This is it just distributes the stuff from the mod we just downloaded. So there's only one file. Download with Manager. Then we have Distributed Necklaces Chain Neck Seam Concealer. This just does pretty much what it says. It covers up that ugly little line that's on all the NPCs' necks. So download that with Manager. This has built-in Tale of Two Wastelands compatibility too, so that's pretty good. Alright, so that's what all we're going to do for now. While we wait for all of these to finish downloading, so yeah, I'll just do that. I'll wait for all these to finish downloading and then we'll come back. Alrighty, so once all those are downloaded, we can go over to our Downloads tab. And the first one we did was the Hall of Equipment for Fallout 3. So we're going to bring that add-on to our desktop. We're going to go ahead and just bring all of the files that we downloaded down into our desktop. Alright, but firstly we have the Hall of Equipment all-in-one for Fallout 3. So go over to Mod Organizer, find that archive, double click Manual, drop down Set Data Directory, and OK. And then the next one we had was the Hall of Equipment for Fallout New Vegas. Go ahead and double click to install. Just going to type New Vegas, Manual, Set Data Directory, and OK. Then real quickly I'm just going to rename the first one we did to Fallout 3. And then we're going to do the DLCs for all the New Vegas ones. Merge. And just do that for all of them. Alrighty, and then once you finished up all of the DLCs for the Hall of Equipment, we can move on to Atom All-in-One Installer. Go ahead and double click that. Now this is going to bring up a FOMOD installer. It says complete version and custom version. The complete version says this version will install everything except the optional NCR Trooper module if it comes with the merge plugin that includes modular patches for Project Nevada, Advanced Recon, and Faction Armor Usage Enhancement. We aren't going to be using Faction Armor Usage Enhancement, but that's okay. We can still go ahead and install the complete version. Then when it asks about the NCR Trooper module, make sure you keep it on No, and then install. And then we have the merge update for that, so go ahead and double click that, manual and merge. And then next we had the Caesar's New Regime main file, manual. We can get rid of the README and the JPEG and go ahead and hit OK. Now if you remember when we installed New Vegas Redesigned 3, we installed a patch for Caesar's New Regime. So we're actually going to go ahead and find that patch. Mine is right here, and we're going to drag and drop that right below the actual Caesar's New Regime that we just installed. Then we're going to go to that mod, open up the optional ESPs, and move the CNR beta from the original Caesar's New Regime Legion Overhaul mod up into the optional ESPs section. So when we install it, or when we enable these mods, it will use the New Vegas Redesigned 3 Caesar's New Regime patch. So then we had the vanilla body patch merge, and then the civilian clothing patch, or no, sorry, that's the next mod. So double click NCR civilian clothing, manual, okay. Then we had the NCR Trooper overhaul, manual, okay. Then we had some patches for that. Go ahead and just merge those. Then we had the Trooper overhaul distributed. Double click that, manual, set data directory, and install. And then we had the distributed necklaces and chains. I'm going to make the name a little shorter here. You can name it whatever you want. Manual, and OK. You can go ahead and remove all these from view. Alright, so we can go ahead and enable all of these. And just double check our plugins tab, make sure everything still looks okay, and it does. Alright, so moving on to the second half of this video, we're going to be talking about, let me just get rid of these really quick. We're going to be talking about a couple of mods. Let's see. The Book of Steel Compatibility Edition, and then we're going to be talking about Power Armor Distribution Overhaul, and Advanced Recon patches, and then finally Combat Armor Distribution Overhaul. So starting out with the Book of Steel Compatibility Edition, this is going to make it work better with Tale of Two Wastelands. So if you're familiar with the Amidian-born Book of Water, it's the same thing. It's just the original mod was filled with unnecessary bloat, confusing names, and unused records. So he kind of just fixed that and made it better with Tale of Two Wastelands. So if you look at the installation instructions, he has it all laid out here. So what we're going to do is install it in the order he has it suggested here. So we're going to leave this page open because we're going to be coming back to this, but for now we're going to go over to the Amidian-born Book of Water page, open the Files tab, and download with Manager the Book of Steel file. If we go back over to the page, he had the Fought in Vegas, Born Again Combat Armors, either main file and the optional file. So if we look at this page, go over to the Files tab, either main file, I'm going to use the 2K one, download with Manager, and then the optional file, download with Manager. The next one was Born Again Outcast Power Armor, and it says both main files. So go over to that page and download manually both main files. Now I'm going to go ahead here at this point and come out to my desktop, and both of those files that I just downloaded, the Helmet Fix and the Born Again Outcast main, we're going to be downloading a lot of Fallout 3 files, so what I'm going to suggest you do is go ahead and bring these out onto your desktop and put them in the order that you're downloading them, because we're going to eventually merge all of these textures together, and we're going to want them to be in the order that we downloaded them. So the first one, second one, third one, so on. Alright, so then we're going to go back over and see what the next one we needed was, and it was the Born Again Outcast Power Armor updated. So go over here, and it's just one file, so download manually. And then we needed the main file from the Fallout 3 T45D Power Armor. So go to the Files tab and download the main file. So yeah, you kind of get the gist of it here. It tells you the mod and then which file to grab. Fallout T51B, the main file. Okay, so then we had the Born Again Combat Armors, and what file? It said either main file, the updated file, and all the optionals. So either main file, I'm going to grab the 2K one, and then it said to grab the update. So download that manually as well, and then it also said all of the optional files. So download all of those manually as well. Alright, and then back over, Enclave Power Armor is retextured, and it said to grab all three of the main files here. So EPA, download manually, Hellfire, download manually, and then Tesla, download manually. Alright, so we're almost done. Now all we have is the Winterize. We need only the textures folder. So it should just be one file. Let's see here. So the Winterize DX, the bottom one, download manually. And then lastly we have the Tribal DX. Go to the Files tab. Let's just double check and see which one. It doesn't say, so. Sorry, my computer is going very slow right now. Okay, so it didn't specify, so I'm going to grab the 2K one here and download that manually. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go ahead and activate all of these in the order that it is on this page. So the first thing I'm going to do is activate the Book of Steel file and then the Born Again Combat Armors file. So we downloaded those with Manager, so manual install. Set data directory, and then I'm just going to change this to Book of Steel. Then we don't need any of the ESPs, so we can just, all you need is the meshes and textures here. So okay. And then the light version of the Born Again Combat Armors, manual, okay. And then the environmental maps, manual, okay, and merge. Alright, so back over to our Downloads tab. As I said before, we were going to do this in the order that we downloaded them. So we did the Born Again Outcast, Fallout 3, let's see. So yeah, if you just sort it by date, this will be in the order that you downloaded them. Oops. Well, let's grab a few here. Then a few more. Let's go ahead and grab that one, and then I'll put the rest in a different row over here. So that's the order, 1, 2, 3, so on and so on. Now we're going to make a new folder, and we're going to name it Book of Steel Textures - Tale 2 Wastelands. Now we're just going to open up each of these in the order that we downloaded them. open up the data folder. We won't need any of the ESPs from these, so just grab the meshes and textures folder from all of them and drag and drop them into the new folder that we just created. And anytime it asks to replace files in the destination, hit yes. This shouldn't be an issue unless you do it in the wrong order. So I'm going to go ahead and do this for my setup, and I will cut and come back when I'm done. Alrighty, so once you're done moving all those archive mesh and texture folders into the folder that you created, you can erase all the archives, which I've already done, and then we're going to add the archive that we created to an archive of its own. Alrighty, so once that finishes up, we can get rid of the folder and go over to Mod Organizer, find that archive, manual, set data directory, and OK. Now back over to the page that we left open where we just followed those instructions from. We're going to go up to the Files tab on this page, and we're going to download the main file, the Tale of Two Wastelands patch, and that's it. That's all we need from this page. So once those are done, double click to install, manual, OK, and then the Tale of Two Wastelands, manual, OK, and merge. Now we can enable all of those. And once again, like I said at the beginning, you shouldn't have any ESPs for any of these files that we just downloaded except the last two, which were just the Book of Steel Compatibility Edition, and you're going to have 2 ESPs from that. Alright, so then next we're going to be looking at Power Armor Distribution Overhaul. This is going to make rank-based power armor. If you look down at the tier section, it lists it out what it does exactly. So if you scroll down to the bottom of this page, you can see it says patches are provided for the following mods. The one that we just installed, Tale of Two Wastelands, T60 Power Armor, and Tribal DX, which is another one we just installed. So it says right here you must download at least the meshes and textures from the T60 Power Armor for that patch to work. So what we're going to do is go ahead and go over to this page and download with Manager. We don't need the update file because it's simply an ESP that we're not going to be using anyways. So while we wait for that to download, we can go ahead and come back over to this page and scroll up to the Files tab. And this one actually has quite a few different files we're going to have to grab here. Okay, so we're going to download the main file with Manager, the update file with Manager, Book of Steel optional file, Dual Decals optional file, Tale of Two Wastelands optional file, Tribal DX, and the T60 Power Armor. Actually, so every single file on this page we're going to download. There's 7 in total. And while we're waiting for those to download, we're going to go ahead and move on to the very last, well, the second to last mod that we're going to be talking about. This is Project Nevada patches for DLC Tale of Two Wastelands. This basically is a merge of a bunch of different ESPs from the Advanced Recon mods. So what we're going to do is, it says for installation it only requires Advanced Thermal Night Vision master file and Advanced Recon Trap master file. So we're going to go over to the Thermal Night Vision, download with Manager the main file. We don't need any of the optional files. And then we're going to go over to the Trap Detection page and download the main file from that as well. Once again, none of the optional files are needed. And then we're going to download the patch file with Manager. Then while we're here, we'll go ahead and grab our very last mod for this episode, which is the Combat Armor Distribution Overhaul, similar to the Power Armor one. So go ahead and go to the Files tab and download the main and optional files with Manager. Alright, so now we can go back over to Mod Organizer. The T60 Power Armor that we installed, go ahead and double click Manual and unenable the ESP. We don't need that, we just need the meshes and textures. So while we're waiting for that to download, we'll go ahead and cut here and I'll come back when it's done. Alrighty, so once all those are done downloading, we're going to just enable them in the order that we installed them. So first is the power armor distribution overhaul, manual, okay. And then we have the update file for that, manual and merge. Then we had the Book of Steel compatibility file, manual, merge, dual decals, manual, merge. So we're just going to merge all of these, the Tale of Two Wastelands, and the T60. Alright, and then we have the Advanced Recon Thermal Night Vision, manual. You can just leave everything checked here, okay. And then the Advanced Recon Trap Detection, leave everything enabled, and okay. And then we have the Advanced Recon Patches, manual, and okay. Alright, so then we have the Combat Armor Overhaul Combat Armor Distribution Overhaul, so just go ahead and double click, manual, and okay. And then the fix file for that, manual, okay, and merge. So now we can come over to the left pane and enable all of those. And real quick on the Advanced Recon Thermal Night Vision, we only need the Advanced Recon Tech ESM, so move both of the ESP files up into the optional ESP section. And then for the trap detection, do the same thing. We don't need the ESPs, we only need the ESM file. Okay, so if we go over to our plugins tab, we see that we are up to 118. Well, what we're going to do is merge the Book of Steel, the Power Armor Distribution Overhaul, patches. We're going to merge all those together. So if you open up the Power Armor Overhaul or Distribution Overhaul, you'll see we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to merge that down into 1. So, and already to merge those, the first thing we're going to want to do is, if it's not already, the Power Armor Distribution Overhaul.esp, we're going to move that up above the 3 patches, and then run merge plugins. And that's a pretty important step. If you don't move that up above, it's not going to work. So uncheck all, and then check those 4 ESPs, and then we just need the masters. Okay. And then we're going to select those 3 patches and add to merge, and we're going to name it Power Armor Distribution Overhaul patches merged. I'm going to copy and paste that, and OK. We're going over to the merges tab. Once the background loader is done, we will right click, plugins, right click, plugins, check plugins for errors, no errors, and then build merge. Okay, so now we can close that and close out of merge plugins, and we can open up the Power Armor Overhaul Distribution, or Power Armor Distribution Overhaul, and move those 3 ESPs up into the optional ESP section. So the only one that should still be there is the Power Armor Distribution Overhaul. Then we can refresh, and we'll have our new mod here, the patches merged. Just move it right below the Distribution Overhaul and enable. So that 2 ESPs may not seem like that much, but it's better than none. We might come back later and merge some more stuff together, but for now that's going to do it. We're going to hop into game now, and I will, first we're going to run loot, and then we're going to hop into game, and I will show you guys some of the new stuff, and I will talk about some other stuff. So see you there. Alright guys, so it looks like the Power Armor Distribution Overhaul doesn't work quite correctly unless you have the beta version of Lutana's New Vegas Scripting Center plugin. So all you're going to do is download this manually, put it on your desktop, and when it's on your desktop, open up the Install from Archive and install it. I'm keeping both installed, but I'm only going to be using the beta for now. Unfortunately, there's some errors with the loot menu. It's not going to be fixed until the author of Loot Menu makes some changes to that mod with the new beta plugin. So for now I'm just going to keep this disabled, but I'm going to leave it in my load order. That way if it gets updated I can see. I'll probably come back to revisit this at the end of the series, maybe look at the other quick loot menu mod. But for now, I'm going to be using the Lutana's Vegas Cryptic Cinder beta plugin with no loot menu. So yeah, I just wanted to hop in quick and let you guys know that you need to change that. Alrighty guys, so that's going to do it for the armors and clothing episode. There are some slight issues with the power armor distribution overhaul mod. I've been in contact with the mod author, and he's trying, well, I don't know for say, he hasn't actually replied, but it seems like he's trying to fix some of that stuff. So I'm going to keep it on my load order for now, but if it's still kind of wonky at the end of the series, I might take it out, and if I do, don't worry, we'll cover it in this series. So next time we're going to be talking about weapons. I might throw in some other mods not related to weapons in there too. We'll just see how long the episode is after I'm done with the weapons section. Anyways, as always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, I hope you found it helpful, and I hope you continue to watch the series. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.
You lost? Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter. You lost?